Social signals. Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about social signals, what they are and what they're not, because there's a lot of confusion. The best way to explain this to you is to tell you what they're not. Posting something to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or any other social media platform is not a social signal. People think it's a social signal because it comes from when someone makes a post on Facebook or tweets on Twitter or posts something on LinkedIn or makes a pin on Pinterest. This couldn't be further from the truth. A social signal is the reaction or comment to a post on Facebook, a retweet on Twitter, a reaction or comment on LinkedIn, or a reaction or comment to a pin on Pinterest. On Facebook, when someone comments on a post or shares it, or likes it, or laughs at it, or is angry at, or is sad about it, or cares about it, or loves it, and clicks on the corresponding icons that portray that emotion, that is a social signal. On Twitter, when someone retweets someone else's tweet, and then their friends retweet it, and then their friends retweet it, or if someone comments on a tweet or likes that tweet, that is a social signal. And on LinkedIn, same thing, either a comment or reaction to the original posting. I think you see my point, and this is true of any of the other social media platforms after the beginning initiative. They would include Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Vimeo, Periscope, Tumblr, TikTok, and the list goes on and on. This could also include discussion forums like Reddit, Quora, Dig, or Consumer Review, and social shopping networks. So, the reactions and comments of the beginning initiative are all social signals. It's the interaction on social media that shows Google the social signals, and that's powerful. It's the real live persons interacting on any other person's action on social media. It's the human interaction, and Google loves this stuff. Social signals drive engagement, and engagement is directly linked to the user experience. And remember, this is what Google wants. They want the user to have the absolute best experience possible. So follow me here. We already know Google sees everything online, so when Google takes note of a Facebook or any other social media post that gets shared a couple dozen times or more, and that post contains a URL, the site with that URL is rewarded with higher rankings. Now, another myth is having a massive amount of followers on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, and thinking it will improve your rankings. That's just what it is, another myth. Higher rankings have nothing to do with the number of followers you have. It's the external validation. It's these people that like and share and retweet other sources. And all these social signals are kind of like receiving links to your website. The more of them that you accumulate, the more it shows and indicates to Google that you're providing some sort of value, and that's exactly what Google wants, value for the end user. Consequently, this is going to cause you to not only think about social signals, but also rethinking the way you're making your posts and tweets if you engage in social media for your business and your website. So, you need to remember, social signals are not just the regular post. It's not the tweet, and it's not the pin, but it's the sharing and reacting of it. It's the other people who are engaged to that post, tweet, or pin that triggers the social signals, and that is what shows the indication of value, and that's what triggers Google to give more trust and authority to the URL in that person's original post, tweet, or pin. Okay, so why am I telling you all this? Stick with me here, because this is huge and something most other SEO agencies don't even think about. Let's switch gears and ask ourselves, when is the best time to use social signals? First of all, you have to always keep in mind that Google always looks for things to be natural. You always have to think about that. You don't want to force anything. So when would Google expect to see a surge of social signals? Think about that in the video about press releases. The press release brings a massive amount of attention to your site or the topic that is being reported on, right? So wouldn't it be natural when you think of the internet and a press release reaching thousands or even tens of thousands of people? When we commence our press release about your website as part of your SEO campaign, we distribute to over 500 media outlets. That's a massive reach, wouldn't you agree? And wouldn't you reasonably expect that at least a portion of these people would post or retweet or LinkedIn on multiple forms of social media about some of the details contained in that press release, including the URL to the source website? Absolutely. That would be expected. That would be normal. So, wouldn't it also be natural then for a portion of the followers of those people who posted or tweeted about the information or about the press release that they would retweet or share or like or react in some way? Absolutely. So those are your social signals. We have heavily tested this method, and here's what we're doing. We're creating these signals across 4 major social platforms starting 1 to 2 weeks after your press release is distributed, and that's when we trigger the creation of hundreds to thousands of social signals. Real human people not only making the actual posts, but now other accounts that we're using to retweet, to share, to like, to make those crazy little faces on Facebook. And here's what's happening. What we're doing is creating a scenario in which Google would naturally expect to see in a press release. So not only do we see the boost in rank for the keyword that we use as the anchor in the press release, but what we'll also see is continued movement up the ranks with your keyword, as well as other keyword variations that we would be tracking for your campaign. It really gives you a sustained ranking climb. We have done a lot of testing in case after case after case. Social signals work, and they work like crazy. It's incredible. Social signals have so much power because there's so many people involved, and there are so many humans involved. And again, it all goes way back to the user experience. Google wants the user to have a great experience. Think about it. Go back to the backlinking video and review how it works to get trust to your website. You need other social sites linking to you that already have trust, not just one, but multiple sites. So, to get the social signals to work, you got to have posts and you need multiple accounts. We got them. Multiple people, we got them. And all of them liking, sharing, retweeting, commenting, and reacting, to give those indications to Google that there's value happening. And that is massive. So if we control the use of these social signals, we can control the trust and relevancy that flows back to your site. Well, I'm here to tell you that we have a way to get these powerful social signals, and we implement this strategy exactly 1 to 2 weeks after your press release is complete. All social signals are created from organic accounts by real people with unique IP addresses, and they will boost your website, video, blog, or any other property. They are 100% manually completed with no robots or automation used whatsoever. They're natural and 100% Google safe, and best of all, they're permanent. The natural look of social signals dictates that a bulk of them will mostly come from Facebook and Twitter, because they are naturally the biggest social platforms, with a smaller portion coming from LinkedIn signals and Pinterest pins. And there you have it, social signals. Very powerful, massive, and moving. You get them with our exclusive SEO campaign services. They massively compound the effectiveness of the press release. Why? It's the next logical step. People should be posting, liking, commenting, reacting, engaging, tweeting, retweeting, pinning, and repinning in a frenzy after the media exposure your site is in the middle of after a press release. Google sees all this and rewards your site with more trust, which leads to, you guessed it, higher rankings.